bro, maybe we just grow up. Like, maybe growing up is realizing that your dreams don't matter. Because, like...
No, that's not what you're supposed to say.
Well, because I wrote down a lot of, like, pro athletes I know, right? It's like Rich Froning, Matt Frazier, Brandon Burlsworth, MJ, Paul Roberts, Barry Goers. But the two that stuck out to me were Paul Roberts and Barry Goers. Now, Paul, I don't actually know if he was going to go pro, but it sounded like from Coach Roberts, like he probably could have gone pro, like he was cranking, like, American records and stuff, or it was all American and stuff.
Right.
But then, like, had his wife, and basically realized that, like, having a family and kids was, like, way more important / way happier than, like, he would have been just continuing to run. And he would have been a pro athlete. Like, he was top level. And then you have Barry, who actually was in the NHL for a time being, for a little bit.
Barry?
He's a ninja, but he was a professional hockey player. But then he had, like, crazy concussions, like,
Okay.
they, like, put him in the hospital and stuff. Him and I talked about it a little bit, like, one-on-one. He was kind of like, Jonah, like, I have 2 kids now, and, like, memories with them are better than any experience I ever had in professional athletics. Like, don't fall to the thought that, like, athletics is as good as it gets. And that's from a GOAT himself, you know? And not the GOAT, but a GOAT. That's one thought.
Okay.
My second thought is, like, your whole bit is like, you know, good men are often never great men, right?
Right.
Well, what if you could just be such a good man that you're great? Like, you're great at being a good man. Kind of like Father Stu. Like, at the time, he had no notoriety, no fame. He gave up his acting career. He didn't have a lady. But inevitably, there's a movie about him. And everyone from town came to see him for confession because he was great at being a good man. So potentially that's maybe what we strive for. Wow. I think, too, like my youth pastor, Mark, who just passed, like, thousands of people probably know who he is, not because he was, like, famous. He was just a youth pastor in Lafayette. But, like, he was great at being a good man, and everyone knew who he was. And the next thing is, like, bro, just, like, this is what my uncle was just telling me, too, on the phone. Bro, just write down what, like, for a second, forget about passion, purpose, all that jazz. Just write down what your ideal life is 10 years from now, or 5 years from now. Forget about the different terms. Just write down what you want. No, I don't want it on me. Like, forget about passion, whatever. Just write down, what is my ideal life? Great. How can I get there? Backtrack.
Okay.
The second thing I was going to say is, like, chunk your life, bro. That's what I was going to tell you earlier. Like, you got to chunk your life and prioritize it. Like, what's time sensitive? You know, that's what I was doing with Lazy Dog in a way. Like, okay, for 1 year, forget about fitness and being a pro athlete. I need to make money, and I need to get experience to move as a server. That's 1 year chunked. Like, you got to chunk up, like, what you want to do. Like, I've chunked my pro athlete phase of life in a way. I may go back to it, but for the time being, bam, there's 4 years, pro athlete, compete on the show, done, next chunk. And, like, I'd like to go back to it, potentially, but for now, like, you gotta chunk it up. So it's like, okay, like bodybuilding, that's time sensitive. Right. You can't do it when you're 70. So, like, you might as well chunk that up now, and then you do passion or vocation later. Maybe not ideal, but that's one way to go about it, is like, do that now, do passion now, do vocation later, purpose later, I don't know. The next one, bro, is like, I think maybe we just need to have more humility about giving up on our dreams. Like, I think you and I both, especially me, like, I hate giving up on things. I hate giving up on things. And if I was willing to give up easier, I could have just given up and started a new path by now. Like, with a lot of things in life. It's like, do you know what an MVP is?
Oh,
all the buttons.
Minimally viable product.
There you go. Minimum viable product. Like, that's what I did with the app, right? Like, there was no actual data behind it, but I had all the Photoshop pictures and all the buttons. You click the buttons, and the app does what it's supposed to do. You know, there's...
I would do this for what? For my life?
Yes. The book says basically, like, people are too willing to get caught up in things. Just make an MVP, because it's the quickest way to test a hypothesis. Decide you like it, decide it demands too much, decide you like it, or quit. At the very least, there's nothing you can't do for 2 weeks, was kind of his bit.
Okay, sure.
So anyway, that's kind of one thing. So I just feel like I hate giving up. It's like, bro, you could have just quit and done something else by now. Like, and all the time we spend like trying to choose a decision. Like, bro, you probably not realistically, but bro, just choose your passion. Like, that sounds bad to like God and stuff. Still pray and stuff, but just choose your passion. Like you could have chosen your passion, accomplished it, and then done your purpose, and still be halfway there to accomplishing it before you decide on either, because like you didn't want to like sacrifice one or the other.
Right.
I did write down like, what does your faith tell you to prioritize? You know, like that might tell you to prioritize family per se. You know, like that. And that might be maybe what Paul Roberts falls back on a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. And then the other one is like, can you have kids while being the GOAT? I don't know. Like, while being the GOAT of a sport, can you have kids? Potentially, but maybe you're not the best dad. I don't know. So maybe you have to prioritize, like, being the GOAT, assuming that's what you want to do, before you go have kids, right?
Right.
And then I kind of just wrote down too my thoughts of, I was like, okay, under Josh, vocation, help young men find God, passion, be a pro bodybuilder, career, studio, coaching, start a business, like content or something. Like in a small way, bro, yeah, you need a career, right?
Right.
So you need money. Now you could, I wrote this down. Do you put all your eggs in one basket and bet completely on yourself? Like, that's kind of what I feel like Austin did, right? Like, he didn't have a typical job. He decided, like, I'm going to put all my eggs into training and bet on myself that, like, I'm going to go win American Ninja Warrior. And it got him pretty far. Like, it's not like it failed him. He got second 2 years in a row. He had a lot of connections. He has his own apartment now. Like, inevitably got him pretty far. I keep going back to Brandon Burlsworth and Peaceful Warrior, dude. You gotta watch him. But Peaceful Warrior, it's kind of like the character in a way learns like, give up on your dreams, because like it's like give up on your like he kind of like gave up on our dreams, because like at the end of the day, like I might be butchering this. I kind of forgot what I was thinking when I wrote it this way, but like he just wants to be happy, you know, which inevitably, like he probably realizes, comes from like serving others. So like. Like if happiness is your number one goal of life, which for me it is, I think he realized like he doesn't want to, like all of his other gymnast buddies who were like very successful were like miserable. And he's like, nah, I just want to be happy now. And he realized that doesn't really come through following dreams. It comes potentially from serving others. Now I did right after that. It's like, okay, but would God not want you to like follow those dreams? Like, would he not want you to do those dreams? And then I wrote down Brandon Burlsworth again. I was like, why can't you do both? You know, because like Brandon Burlsworth, I don't know if you remember that movie, Greater. Me, you, and Caleb watched it. I like watched it one night. I told you it was so good. I went and watched it the next night with y'all.
Football dude?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Basically, like Brandon Burlsworth kind of got, he would say, I think I've decided I'm going to coin this term, and Josh, you may have launched a new dream for Jonah. I may base my entire motivational speaking career about being a Grood man, a great good Grood. Brandon Burlsworth was a Grood dude because he was like the number one player in the country. Like he got drafted in the NFL. You know, like he was the number one offensive lineman like in the country pretty much. And basically turned his entire team around. Like did something like historically you can't do, you know, or like shouldn't have been able to have been done. But he was definitely bringing people to God and doing his vocation along the way, without a doubt. Like everyone was like he turned the entire team into like a Bible study basically. But he was also doing his passion, which was like I'm gonna be a footballer. So like he followed his passion, he did his vocation. Because he was so good at those two, the money came because he got like a full ride scholarship and then was about to sign a huge deal with the Colts, right?
Right.
So it's like, okay, why can't you kind of do all of them?
Yeah.
But I wrote down like all the famous like athletes I could think of. It was like Michael Jordan, Matt Frazier, Rich Froning, Brandon Burlsworth, Paul Roberts, Barry Goers, and it's like, okay, Rich Froning, was probably pretty close to being Grood because his first year he wasn't really into his faith. The second year, and he was like miserable. The second year he decided, you know what, it's all for the faith because like otherwise I'm miserable. Ended up winning 4 years, and like he was for a while the GOAT. He now maybe though because Matt Fraser took it to such a new level, it's possible maybe he couldn't have done what he did now and still be Grood, you know? Like he would have had to even make more sacrifices than he did. But he was able to have like a girlfriend slash like wife slash fiance. He seemed like he had a lot of fun. Like he was able to balance having fun and doing stuff like that.
Right.
He was able to win and he was still able to do his vocation. I think the only thing he would maybe have sacrificed is like having a family, which he did do his last year winning, right? Like he had his kid right before his last CrossFit Games. But notice he had his kid and then was done. Now, he still went to team and dominated team for the next 3 years and owns a crazy gym, but he wasn't going to go try to be the individual GOAT, you know, had to change his goals.
Well, that's what Seabum did too. Basically, he had his kid last year for this competition.
Right. Then you have MJ, who like was the GOAT. He still had fun. Like he was like a golfer and stuff like that, but again, money was not an issue because he was making money through that, which is like the whole Ikigai thing where he could get paid to do what he loved. So it's a little bit different than like being a pro CrossFitter. You have to be number one. Same with like Ninja Warrior. You have to be number one to actually get paid for it. Otherwise, you're not going to get paid for it. So anyway, Josh, I guess my point was like all these people, right, like sacrifice something and chunk it. What I would tell you to do probably is like, bro, just like chunk stuff up. Like decide to be a pro bodybuilder and because you're passionate about it, then decide to just do your vocation through that, like Brandon Burlsworth, and be Grood, and then like just make your money. Either be so good at those two things that the money comes, and you could put all your eggs in that basket, but it's like, well, that wouldn't make that much sense. But it's like you could go start another business, like content or whatever, put all your eggs in that basket, and put yourself up against a wall, or just go get a part-time job that will help those things, and like. Maybe you suffer a little bit, but again, like go be part-time. Like find something that works for you, that like serves you, or that like will do the work for you. Like you get a free gym membership, you get discount on supplements, you have access to amazing coaches, to recovery tools, to a cool group of people you want to meet, to free food. Like go get a job in the meantime. That'll work for you. And I'm going to be real, you may not be the most passionate about it. Like I'm sure Nate wasn't passionate about working at Target, but he had to do it because like he needed the money. And sure, now he's not doing it, but he has a different, like he's not just accepting like, I'll just go bankrupt. No, he has another plan to make money and that will have to work, or I'm sure Nate will go back to Target. Like I'm sure it will work, but if it didn't, he'd have to go back to Target. So like there is my recommendation to you.